to get underway. The refs look like they're ready. There's the first whistle. That releases everybody because the pack is so far back. Now remember folks, there's no minor penalties, and that's good news for a lot of these skaters, especially Nana Bruzu, who likes to do whatever it takes to get into position that she has right now because she's the lead jammer, getting around that track faster than I can even say it, bashing through the front of that pack and calling it off. My goodness, first blood draw. We see this interesting pack setup right back in the jammers, which will immediately start it upon the first whistle blown. And there it is. Lady Zombie smashing into the inside line of that pack and then back in the middle doing whatever she can. Meanwhile, Ursula having a heck of a time trying to get by a wall of black in the back there. Lady Zombie makes it through and is your lead jammer for Whidbey Island right now. For those who are wondering what's going on, the referee with his arm in the air is marking the lead jammer. That's the girl who can call it off at any moment she wants. She looks to the outside. Ursula goes to the inside and scores 4 points to Whidbey Island's 1. That was an amazing second effort there by the Sisters of Slaughter, Ursula. I Shove Lucy now takes her turn on the jam line. She's going up against Wild Sockeye. And it's happening so quickly, I missed it. We've got 2 Whidbey Island girls in the box right now. Interesting note. In the new rule set, there are no minor penalties. The refs no longer point at you and laugh. Now they point at you and send you off the floor. That's the way it works, folks. Right off the bat, Wild Sockeye, the lead jammer. She is in control of this jam right now. Once she makes it through again, she will be scoring points. I Shove Lucy now beginning her scoring pass as she skates away from that pack. On the inside line, untouched. Wild Sockeye scoring 4 and calling it off. That is about as clean as it gets for Wild Sockeye. Whidbey Island not about to mess around. We got 5-on-5 again on the flat track. Nobody in the penalty box. It's lonely over there for the penalty trackers right now. And tumbling her way through the pack, I believe Knockdown on her butt is the lead jammer, but it doesn't matter because Nana Bruzu thumbs her nose at the lead jammer and skates away, looking to score some points for her own team. That's going to force Knockdown on her butt to call it off, folks. That's a defensive play. As the lead jammer, you have the right to do that. You can call it off and prevent the other team from scoring those points. Very heads-up play by Knockdown on her butt. Lady Zombie, no stranger to the lead jammer position herself, now going up against Bruiser B. And there's the whistle after waiting the allotted time between jams. They are off and running. Bruiser B, before the turn even begins, is your lead jammer. Both of these teams are showing some amazing quickness off the line here. We're seeing lead jammer called before I even know what's going on. Of course, that's not uncommon. Big news! Big news for the Sisters of Slaughter as they score a grand slam through the pack. This is a power jam, meaning the Whidbey Island Roller Girls, Lady Zombie, is now sitting in the penalty box. They are unable to score points for the moment. A little cut in the track there. You got to keep it in bounds, especially when you're that jammer. Meanwhile, Bruiser B trying to bruise her way through this pack. Big shoulder check there. Right in the back of that pack by the team captain herself for Whidbey Island, Gloria T. But it looked like it was a little too much for the refs. Now she's going to take a trip to the old sin bin there to think about what she's done. Meanwhile, being recycled to the back of the pack, Bruiser B still trying to fight her way through. A little assisting positional block by Bonnie B down there. She does make her way through and then gets knocked to the outside as quick as we can even say it. It's complete mayhem there in the front of the pack for a moment. As Bruiser B is now back in bounds and now attempting to get through. Second effort block there. Whidbey Island stringing her out, and she does end up getting those points. That's a grand slam, 5 points on the flat track, just as Lady Zombie leaves the box, and that's your jam. My goodness. As it stands now, Sisters of Slaughter 14 points to Whidbey Island's 9. This is anybody's bout, of course, so we've got plenty of time. Ursula Z for the Sisters on the jam line. She's going up against Wild Sockeye for the girls in black. Both jammers playing a little game of electric boogaloo back there in the back of the pack as Ursula is your lead jammer. Knocks down on her butt, attempting to put the hit on Wild Sockeye, does slow her up quite a bit. As both jammers now are released and begin their scoring pass. Now when they pass skaters, they are scoring points. Ursula with a quick shoulder check and run on through 4 points. Answered right back by Wild Sockeye, who also scored 4 there. Sonia open. Right now on the flat track. Big pilot there in the start there. Nana Breezy comes up with a nod though. Your lead jammer skating around. And she has skated away from the pack in a big way. Looking to lap just about everybody. And she makes contact with that pack again, in and out, faster than I can even say it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a grand slam the hard way. Nana proves you. My goodness gracious. Do not cut in front of her at the coffee stand, ladies and gentlemen. Just don't do it. Right back, in and out of that path again. That's another grand slam. Whidbey Island has now taken over the lead. The girls in black, ready to rock and roll out here on the flat track. Big knockdown there. Not a bruise you. Down and back up again though. No problem, she says. Oh, but there is a problem actually, says Dell. You've been cutting the track. Then he sent the old penalty back. So that's going to set up the power jam for I Showed Lucy. And this is exactly what the doctor ordered for the girls in green. Something to stem that tide of points that are being thrown up onto the scoreboard there. As I Showed Lucy is attempting to now make her way through that pack. Untouched on the inside line. Definitely having a serious numbers advantage here. The girls in green now, nobody in the penalty box as compared to a full house, as it were. In the penalty box, only 2 blockers, Gloria Steves and Gelfling, and will do anything. They get their little shoulder checks, and I Showed Lucy skates right on through. And now the tide has turned back to the green. I Showed Lucy, that grand slam means the Sisters of Slaughter are now back on top. Making contact in that pack there, a couple shoulder checks looks like, and that's the end of that jam. 1 point scored right at the end there by I Showed Lucy. My goodness, neither team willing to give anything away here. It's not. Yet again, Sisters of Slaughter enjoying an advantage in numbers here. There is a blocker along with Nana Bruise You in the penalty box. Sofa King Ninja looking on as Knockdown on her butt is your lead jammer on the flat track. Whidbey Island putting up whatever kind of front wall they can. We'll see what our jammer makes of it. If she looks at that inside line, nothing happening since Chef Villa. She goes down instead. Another big hit sends Nana Bruce down the flat track and back into the penalty box. That was a hit that would have killed a normal mortal human being, I'm sure of. Meanwhile, knocks in on her butt, skates around for another grand slam. 5 more points on the board for the girls in green as they continue this power jam. Unopposed on offense. Nika Please trying to open up a hole in the front there, doing whatever she can. Going up against Ninja, who is acting as pivot right now and holding down Forts right there in the front of the pack. Big hit check there, taking Knockdown on her butt down to the track. She's back up fast enough to say it, but another giant hit comes back in by Hawaiian Punch You Out, living up to her namesake. Knocks down on her butt. Meanwhile, having a heck of a time in the back of this pack, just a wall of black. Nothing happening there. Slowly trying to make her way to the front. She's trying to get that outside line, but instead there's a pileup, nearly taking out a referee. And Noxan says, I've had just about enough of this, and calls it off. And so he's got a black timeout. Whidbey Island going up against Rosie Thatcher. Big hits right off the bat there. This blocker's out for blood. As Lady Zombie looks at inside line and gets it. That's your lead jammer. Ursula Z looking for that parting shot, but Lady Zombie unfazed, along with being undead. Once again, not even making contact with the pack. She's in and out on the outside line. Lady Zombie, folks, that's 5 points for the girls in black, and that is exactly how close this game is. It can go back and forth just like that. When you use multiples of 5, it adds up quickly, but you have to be better at math than I am. Lady Zombie skating through that pack, calling it off, but not before getting another 4 points on the board. Whidbey Island now within 6 for Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas takes a step to the outside and is immediately the lead jammer. Stepping right over that pack. Wild Sockeye chases her down and forces her to call it off, and the defense just moved there. They're not about to let Wild Sockeye get into those points. Trying to hold everything down there for defense. And the Sisters of Slaughter looking to do what she can with a big hip check on Not Another Bruiser. She takes her out of bounds, and she's got to come back in behind Ursula Z. That's what that move was, recycling her to the back of the pack. Meanwhile, the front of the pack, big hit there. Ursula Z goes down and is right back up as your lead jammer, attempting to skate away from Not Another Bruiser and get into this separated and destroyed pack that I'm looking at right here. Bruiser B calls it off as Not Another Bruiser was breathing down her neck there, literally. Late penalty there on Ursula Z. She takes the long skate of shame to the penalty box. Just trying to hold on to the inside line, but not able to do it. I'm so losing a 3 second in the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Lady Zombie is your lead jammer, skating away. Looking to get some of those points back on the board for Whidbey Island. Meanwhile, Hawaiian Punch You Out goes to the penalty box. As Lady Zombie in legal play gets a grand slam on the board. It's a 1-point bout right now, folks, with about 15 minutes left in this first period. And Lady Zombie is looking to take the lead as she hits the pack right now on a mission. Passing the front. And there it is, 3 points for the girls in black at the end of that jam. This time it's going to be Wild Sockeye going up against Nika Believes.
Go sister!
First whistle releases everybody, and Wild Sockeye punches her way through the middle of that pack and is your lead jammer now. Nika Please also beginning her scoring pass. The pack comes to just about a grinding halt there. Bonnie beat down, holding court at the front there. And that's it. Looks like Wild Sockeye didn't like what she saw there, decided to call it off. Oh man! 42 to 42. We're starting to get into numbers that are a little too big for me to count up to. You may have to help me. Meanwhile, Nana Bruise You and Noxan on her butt are going to face off on the gem line again. Some big hits in the backfield there. Whidbey Island pivot decides, hey, I don't have to hang out in the front, do I? Time for some hip checks. Nana Bruise You enjoying the benefits of that as she skates away as your lead jammer. Bonnie beat down, trying to open up some holes to do whatever she can in the middle of that pack. along with Cindy Luce Matthew. Not another Bruce. She gets back to the middle of that tackle site to call it off. 2 points. 2 points for now on Bruce. It looks like we have 1 point late there for the sisters as well. Of the 44 points you see on the board right now. Trying to get by and Vito Loca. Nothing doing. Little Slaughter County sandwich there up in the front of that pack. And Rosie Baxter on the inside line sneaks on through, and that's your lead jammer. Both teams split up now. Pack is all over the place. Seymour says nope, it's right here. As both jammers skate away on fire. Rosie Baxter hits that pack, pulls it off. Looking for the 4th whistle, folks. It goes up until that 4th whistle, and she does score 2 points on her way through that pack. And the Sisters of Slaughter now just squeaking ahead of the Whidbey Island Roller Girls now. 45 to 44, my goodness. We've got a roller derby now. Ursula Z on the jam line. Both jammers jockeying for position a little bit. Ursula Z likes that outside line though. She goes through both jammers about neck and neck. Looks like it's Ursula Z, the lead jammer. She just has to call it off. One and done, says Ursula, that's it. Pack and jammers dancing around, trying to find the most beneficial position to get through. Ursula Z this time just barely knocked out of bounds by Gelfling. Amazing shoulder check, and that's going to allow Nana to bruise you to get that lead jammer position as she skates around. Meanwhile, Ursula Z stuck at the back of that pack still. Trying for the hit, but instead, no, sorry, she does get that hit. Rosie Baxter causing the cutting the track there for Nana to bruise you, and that's going to set up a power jam here with about 10 minutes left to go in this first period for Ursula Z and the girls in green. Ursula Z punching her way through that pack, not your lead jammer, but still able to score points nonetheless. This one could go the full 2 minutes. That means everybody in the beer garden has to now take a drink, of course. I don't make those rules, okay? I don't make those rules. Ursula Z running into the back of Bonnie Beatdown. You just got to get out of her way. Ursula Z is not afraid to take down her own blockers to suit her needs. In and out of that pack, scoring those points. We'll see what Mr. Face says, and that's a grand slam for the girls in green. Ursula Z sizing up that pack before she attacks it, waiting in the back there, and then stymied a little bit by Whidbey Island, who is now sending blockers to the penalty box. Unfortunately, Sinister Sister is going to have to sit down for a little bit and think about what she's done. Back in legal play, 5 more points for the girls in green.
Look behind you, Ursula! Coming up!
Nana Bruzu makes contact with the back of that pack. She was released from the penalty box, scored 4 points on her way out, and is now trying to get through again. To get some of those points back on the board. We'll see what happens. Both jammers with 3 points at the end of that jam. It is still so close, I can barely stand it. Sisters of Slaughter, 58 points. So Whidbey Island's 51. Looks like we've got a timeout. Both jammers begin by shifting position right after the whistle blows. The grass is always greener, am I right? Big hits on the front of that pack by Nika Please, but Wild Stockman says no problem, I'm still the lead jammer as she skates away from that pack looking to score those points. Seymour Carnage, meanwhile, trying to bring law to the lawless on the flat track, sending Nika Please to the penalty box. I Showed Lucy beginning her scoring pass now as Wild Stockeye is looking to blast through that last line of defense, and she does. Skating through and getting 4 points for the girls in black. And there you have it. Whidbey Island chipping away at this score. Changing going on this bout. Nobody's happy where they are, I've noticed. What is going on out here? Big hit to the inside. Jammer on jammer action. Lady Zombie taking advantage of that, knocking Bruiser B to the inside, and then getting stymied up front by the wall of green as Bruiser B back up and at him and is your lead jammer. Looks like Hawaiian Punch You Out yet again, taking a seat in the penalty box. You got about a full house here, 2 and 2 represented, so the flat track is even Stevens, although we have a light pack going on. Lady Zombie skating through, looking to get some of those late points as Bruiser B pulls it off. I'm not sure if she did. Did she? She did get 4 points. Thank you. No, sorry. I'm a liar. I'm a big liar. That's one thing you all need to learn as an audience at these events. I lie a lot. One thing I would never lie about, though, is who's on the jam line. Unless I feel like it. Noxan on her butt and Nana Bruise You both take off. Looking to get that lead jammer position, but that's going to go to Nana Bruise You. She's getting to this pack. Noxan on her butt. Meanwhile, having a heck of a time. Shoulder check after shoulder check. It's like a pinball game. And she's the ball. Glorious tease. Then backwards to shoulder check. Pulling her up, but she does find her way to the front of the pack and begins her scoring pass. Nana Bruise You, meanwhile, about halfway through this very split up pack. 4 points on the board for Whidbey Island. Now 5.5 minutes left until halftime. And they're off. Wild Sockeye got a heck of a jump off that whistle, but runs right in the back of I've Showed Lucy in the front of that pack. Bruiser B looking for that outside line, and she does break free. That's your lead jammer with a big shoulder check, knocking Wild Sockeye out of bounds. But that's going to cost I've Showed Lucy a trip to the old sin bin there. Got to keep it legal, folks. Big hit to the inside line. That's going to knock Bruiser B out for a moment, but then she's right back up and at him to the front of that pack, pulling it off after scoring 3 points for her team. My goodness. And that whistle means we are good to go for Jam 23. Lady Zombie with a heck of a jump off that line. That's your lead jammer as the pack comes to just about a halt on turn 1. Little pilot there, and then they're back up and going. Lady Zombie passes them before they have even made their way out of the turn. And that's a grand slam the extremely hard way there, sitting through this. These skaters looking to be out for blood here. Man, nothing doing, but Dell from Hell says no. You cut the track. You gotta keep it in bounds, lady. Let's send it to the old penalty box, but the damage has been done. Ladies and gentlemen, Whidbey Island tying up this bout with about 3 minutes left to go in the first period here. Noxan on her butt, now beginning her scoring pass as she breaks free of this pack of amazing blockers here. Once again, the pack comes to a crawl as they await their jammer, looking to set up some amazing hits, no doubt. Noxan on her butt, looking to make her way through. There's 2 skaters to beat up front. Trying to get by Nana Bruise You, that is no small feat. Let me tell you, meanwhile, Hawaiian Punch You Out with some amazing positional blocking there, and on the assist, Nana Bruise You comes in with a shoulder check and recycles Noxan on her butt to the back of the pack. Whidbey Island doing an excellent job of chewing up a lot of time on the bout clock here. Hawaiian Punch You Out now recycling, Noxan on her butt to the back of the pack, and that's going to cost a penalty, I believe. As the Sisters of Slaughter Jammer now makes her way to the sin bin. That's going to set up a power jam late in this first period for the girls in black, and we'll see what they make of it. That's your jam. 4 more points on the board for Lady Zombie. Sprung from prison for good behavior and scoring those points immediately. Whidbey Island takes the lead. Ninja making her way to the jam line pretty much unseen. And then making her way up to the front of the pack unseen as well. That's your lead jammer, folks. Using the ways of the ninja, she's now attempting to thread her way through this pack. Look at by Bruiser B and Rosie Batcher. On the outside line, nothing doing. That's a big shoulder check by Bonnie Beatdown. And she's right back at the back of that pack. Has to do it all over again. Big wall of green up front, and once again, the ninja goes down. Skaters flying everywhere. It's complete anarchy, of course. And she does make her way through. On the inside line, calls it off with a grand slam right at the end of that jam. Amazing effort there by Ninja. Whidbey Island now pushing the lead further out. 73 for the Island girls. To the sisters, 67. Right now we see Wild Sockeye on the jam line for the girls in black. Sizing up the pack. Then blasting her way right through the center of the pack. Your lead jammer, ladies and gentlemen, Wild Sockeye. Coming to a screeching halt, then looking for the open hole that she wants to find. Wild Sockeye now being taken down out of bounds by Nika Kaliz. Not quite legal, but sometimes you gotta do whatever you gotta do. Wild Sockeye doing whatever it takes to get 4 more points on the board, and she does. Meanwhile, knocks that on her butt, out of the penalty box, and on the flat track. Big hit by Not Bruise is going to recycle her to the back of the pack as Wild Sockeye easily skates right through this pack for some big points on the board. That's a grand slam. 5 points here at the end of this first period. And a late penalty called on I Shove Lucy. Rosie Batcher, no stranger to going airborne herself, now makes her way to the jam line. She's going up against Wild Sockeye. Interesting lineup for these jammers. Rosie Batcher looking for the outside line, and she does, untouched. That's your lead jammer, folks, as Wild Sockeye also begins her scoring pass. The pack now matches together somewhat, but not before many blockers now report to the penalty box. Rosie Batcher with a big hit. That was a tailbone bounce, and it hurt me to my very core to even watch it. Everything else that happened on the flat track was... She's going up against Nightmare Before Christmas. There we go, Nightmare Before Christmas. Your lead jammer, ladies and gentlemen. Skating away from that pack. If I'm not mistaken, this might be her second jam of the night. She's going to see what she can make of it. Meanwhile, Lady Zombie, the high scorer here from Whidbey Island, 27 points under her belt alone. Skating around, looking to get some more points for her team. But in the front of the pack, it's all about Nightmare. 4 points and calling it off. But not before Lady Zombie gets 3 on the board. Bruiser B, no stranger to scoring points either. 20 points for her this foul. But Not Bruise is the one who's going to come up with a nod here. Lead jammer. She skates away. Big hit. Right there, I think that was Ninja with a big shoulder check. That's going to send both skaters. Sorry, it's just going to send Ninja to the penalty box. Bruiser B thought it was her turn, not this time. Back in legal play. Meanwhile, Not Bruise you. Skating through the pack, looking to get some of those points. She's looking to get a 100-point score here. That's 4 more points are escorted onto the board by Nana Bruzu. 98 points. Whidbey Island knocking on the door of triple-digit score. Back on the jam line, Nightmare Before Christmas. She's going up against Wild Sockeye. Wild Sockeye accounting for 25 points of her own. No big deal. Now we know where that smell's coming from. Everything's been solved. Trying to figure out what's going on there. Bonnie beat down off the track, back on the track. Looks like she's going to be in legal play. And Nightmare, your lead jammer. That outside line proven fruitful for the girls in green tonight. As Nightmare now skates away on her scoring pass. Wild Sockeye, however, having a heck of a time getting by Bonnie beat down and Ursula Z. But she does begin her scoring pass now as Nightmare gets just edged to the outside, pardon me, the inside. It's all relative, however you look at it, I guess. Nightmare bludgeoning her way through that pack. 4 points on the board for the girls in green. Wild Sockeye with an amazing second effort gets 4 more points, and Whidbey Island's got 101 points on the board for the Sisters of Slaughter 83. Bruiser B back on the jam line. She's going up against Lady Zombie in the penalty box right now, so it'll be a 4-on-4 play. Big pile up there right on the jam line. Lady Zombie coming up with the advantage though. That's her lead jammer for the girls in black. As Bruiser B begins her scoring pass now as well. Big hit there. Bonnie beat down. Is not afraid to beat somebody down. I've heard that somewhere actually. Lady Zombie meanwhile up to the front of the pack. She tries to call it off, but it looked like a little bit of back blocking going on up there, and that's going to send her to the sin bin. As this play continues. A lot of confusion. Everybody thought that the jam was over. It's not. It's still going. But now it's a power jam, and that means Bruiser B is unopposed on offense right now. She tries to smash her way through that pack, and she does get to the front. Dell says that's good for 5, ladies and gentlemen. As the girls in green now attempt to chip away at this score. Still plenty of time left. 23 minutes left to go in standard play. Bruiser B bobbing and weaving. Outside, back inside. Who knows where she's going? She's going to the front of the pack. That's where. Up to the front and 5 more points. That's what we're talking about here in Slaughter County. The pack now shuffling blockers around, trying to get the best position on the lone jammer on the flat track here. And untouched, Bruiser B finds her way through that pack. And that's the end of the jam. 5 more points, my goodness. That's a 15-point jam for Bruiser B. The referees just answered dirty. That's what's going on, I'll tell you what. Nightmare Before Christmas skating away as your lead jammer now in this Sisters of Slaughter Power Jam. Trying to do a swinging door play, but the door never shut. Lady Zombie skates through unopposed right from the penalty box. Nightmare Before Christmas tries to get through, gets knocked out of bounds, and is recycled to the back of that pack. Glorious T skating backwards like a shark, waiting for the jammer. And the jam begins. Parting shot there for Nana Bruzu, but nothing doing. She's your lead jammer, skating away from this pack. And the penalty box is chock full of Whidbey Island skaters. They are stacking up too deep. Nana Bruzu with a big hit there. Blasting in the pack and calling it off on her way down. Official timeout called by Seymour Carnage. There's some kids at mommies. I think she's actually got children. Weird. Yeah, what are you gonna do? I don't know, it's weird. I'll tell you what you do. Well, Sockeye is gonna look to score some points on the flat track. That's what's gonna happen. That's her lead jammer skating away. As Knocksan on her butt is also on her scoring jam as well. Only one blocker for the girls in black in the penalty box. While Sockeye is gonna skate through, call it off. 4-point jam. That's about as pretty as it gets here in roller derby. Whidbey Island now. Position block there. I show Lucy now has to go back, come in and try it again, but she's good to go as she just tries to hold on to that inside line, but instead recycled to the back by Chef Zilla as Lady Zombie skates through. Of course, I show Lucy is your lead jammer. She's in control, and she decides to call it off. She's not about to let Lady Zombie score any more points. Girls in green enjoying a significant advantage in numbers right now. Whidbey Island down 2 blockers. Let's see what they make of it. It's not a bruising, it's knocked inside by Bonnie Vita. And Nightmare is your lead jammer, skating away. Not a bruise you on her scoring pass right now as Bonnie Vita attempts to slow this pack down and set up some blocks for her team. Nightmare in and out of that pack and calling it off. 4 points on the board as the sisters now chip away at this score. That's roller derby, folks. Looks like Gelfling was on the flat track, then not on the flat track. Casting spells, I believe. Maybe Wild Sockeye, meanwhile, working some magic of her own. That's her lead jammer right now on the flat track. Skating like she had a rocket pack on her back. Just knocked out of bounds by Bonnie Beatdown. The second effort there by Bruiser B. That's right, folks. 4 points on the board. I don't know if you saw that. It happened pretty quickly. It doesn't end until it goes to the 4th whistle, ladies. 2, Whidbey Island. Blockers in the box. As Lady Zombie and Rosie Basher now try to do whatever they can on offense. And Lady Zombie comes up with the inside line, and that's the lead jammer. Rosie Basher also exits the pack. Whidbey Island now rotating skaters in and out of that penalty box. They are still managing to put up a heck of a wall there, though. Even with the limited skaters, a little pile up there at the end of turn 1. Both jammers going down. Looks like Lady Zombie will have to now go to the penalty box, which is going to set up a power jam for the Sisters of Slaughter, and this is huge for the girls in green, as Rosie Basher is going to look to capitalize on this. And she does. 5 more points on the board, pushes the score just a little bit further away from Whidbey Island. Chaos and Chef Zilla now trying to hold down that front line. Do what they can. Big push there. Puts Chaos away to Rosie Basher. Another shoulder check by Chaos, but Rosie Basher is unfazed. Skating through. No harm, no foul for the last skater, but she still gets 4. Now slowing down quite a bit. Knocksan on her butt now, moving up to do something about those 2 blockers up front. A little bit of contact, and then she skates right on by. Rosie Basher with another grand slam, ladies and gentlemen, as the Sisters of Slaughter push this score even further away. Rosie Basher calling out those plays as she enters the pack, and she does. Skate through untouched with another 5-point pass. Lady Zombie just squeaking out 1 point there at the end of that jam. And that is exactly what Bonnie Beatdown is looking to do as she skates through and is your lead jammer. Nana Bruise you, beginning her scoring pass as well, not to be outdone. Bonnie Beatdown making big contact in the pack. It off, but being passed by Nana Bruise You. Outscoring her on that pass. Amazing second effort there by the girls in black. Knocks that underbow once again on that outside line. That's your lead jammer, folks. Wild Sockeye having a little bit of a hard time trying to buy Rosie Basher, and I showed Lucy there in front of that pack. Big jump there to the outside. Wild Sockeye with some fancy footwork exits the pack, but tries to skate out of her own boots. She's right back up and at him. And she skates through. Meanwhile, knocks that on her butt with a 4-point pass and calls it off. Looking for that inside line. Lady Zombie just squeezing through, and that's your lead jammer, folks. Skating through with Bruiser B on her scoring pass as well now. Lady Zombie making contact with the pack. She skates through, calls it off about halfway through the pack. We'll see what the points say. 1 point for the girls in black. "12 minutes left to go, and the bout is back on. Nana Bruise You through that pack, and your lead jammer for the girls in black. I showed Lucy looking to score some points of her own as Hawaiian Punch You Out rules the pack with an iron fist, looking for anyone to make contact with, and she does, as she knocks down multiple skaters, including one of her own. No problem. 3 points on the board for the girls in green, but that's 4 for the girls in black. Official says it's time to start, and they do so. Wild Sockeye stepping over skaters, leaping, charging, doing whatever it takes. Your lead jammer yet again. Wild Sockeye charging to this pack. That's good for 5 points. That's a grand slam on the track right now for the girls in black, as they are far from out of this bout. Looking to get some of those points on. Wild Sockeye blasts into the middle of that pack, calls it off while on the floor. 1 point for Nightmare. 1 point that was. 2 points for Wild Sockeye at the end of that. Meanwhile, following the rules on the flat track, Lady Zombie and Rosie Basher looking to score some of those points. Looks like Rosie Basher just made it through the pack before Lady Zombie, and she's skating away. She's got to call it off. Lady Zombie not about to let that one go. She can feel those eyes on the back of her neck. I was a little scared myself, actually. Now, Bruiser B, a Steel Town girl on a Saturday night, looking to score some points for her team. Little contact there, jammer on jammer, action at the back, but Bruiser B, undaunted, finds the outside line instead. Skates through, leering at the audience as she does so. That takes talent, folks. Something wasn't right there, she called it off. The pattern was the Island 128, Sisters of Slaughter 143. Jam begins with a penalty, of course, right off the bat, as Wild Sockeye and Rosie Basher both speeding out of that pack and speeding back toward the pack again. It's like a circle or something, it's weird. Wild Sockeye calling it off. She's not about to let Rosie Basher get any of those points. Putting a little bit of head. And there we go, they're off. Big hits there at the back of the pack. Bruiser B down and back up. Meanwhile, Ursula D and Bonnie B down. Giving Nana Bruise a hard time. Big hit by Vita Loca. Knocked her out of bounds. That leaves the door wide open as Bruiser B, now your lead jammer. get some of those points on the board for her team and extend this score even more. Big play there. As Gloria tries to get Whidbey out. Little illegal, not too big of a deal though. 3 points on that last pass, but 4 points for Nana Bruzu on that last pass. Everything that is pink neon. Unless you send it to the penalty box. Ladies Ombre, Rosie Basher, jam on. And it's Ladies Ombre, your lead jammer. Big block there at the front of the pack. Ninja looking for that block of Rosie Basher. Not going to be knocked out of bounds that easily. She is on her scoring pass right now. Meanwhile, Lady Zombie looking to get by that last line of defense there. Skills in green giving her a heck of a problem. Just about ready to go here. 5 minutes left in play. Sisters of Slaughter, 146 points to Whidbey Island's 134. Let's see what happens here. Wild Sockeye looking to get by Ursula Z, and she does, stringing out that pack enough. And she is now the lead jammer. I lost the Sisters jammer. That's because she's sitting in the penalty box. Power jam, Whidbey Island, late in the bout. Wow, Sockeye loves that. 5 points on the board for the girls in black. And this is exactly what the doctor ordered for the girls from Whidbey Island here. Late in the game as she tries her darndest, pardon my language, to get by Bonnie Beatdown. That's going to send Bonnie Beatdown to the box. Nevertheless, Wild Sockeye recycling back in the pack. Back up to the front though. That's another 5 points, ladies and gentlemen. Am I wrong, or is it a 2-point game right now? Easing into that pack. As the Sisters of Slaughter look on from the sidelines. 5 points on the board means we've got a lead change. Whidbey Island now holds all the cards. As Wild Sockeye skates around just about unopposed on this flat track. I showed Lucy with a booty block there, looking to get her inside. As Hawaiian punching out with the assisting block allows Wild Sockeye the outside line and another grand slam. Knocks in on her butt, passes her, but the damage has been done. Ladies and gentlemen, Wild Sockeye with a 20-point jam here with about 3.5 minutes left to go in this bout. Oh man. Nana Bruzu on the jam line. She's going up against Nightmare Before Christmas. And there we go. Game on. Nana Bruzu steps over the pack and is now your lead jammer. As Nightmare Before Christmas having a little bit of a tough time there on that inside line. One shoulder check and she's let free. Nana Bruzu making contact at the pack, knocking down skaters everywhere she goes. 4 points and calling it off. Just about perfect, folks. It's been scientifically proven that they will skate harder the louder you cheer. And right now, that's what the Sisters of Slaughter are looking for as they stand at a deficit. Whidbey Island, 158 points to 146. Lady Zombie looking at that inside line, instead getting knocked to the flat track as Bruiser B also tries to make her way through that pack. Lady Zombie is through first, your lead jammer. That becomes even more important here late in the game as she can control the time that will be chewed off the clock. Meanwhile, Bruiser B looking to get some of those points of her own. Lady Zombie smashing through the pack and then just about skating out of her boots there. And that's your jam. 4 points on the board. With a minute left to go, this could be our last jam of the bout, ladies and gentlemen. Wild Sockeye skating through that pack. That's your lead jammer. Meanwhile, Rosie Basher looking to get by Nana Bruzu. Big shoulder check there. taking Rosie right inside that track. Wild Sockeye going under the blockers. You don't usually see that, but it's good for 5 either way. Rosie acting as the 5th blocker there, but nothing doing as Wild Sockeye continues to skate through this pack. Score those points. I Shove Lucy acting as the last line defense along with Mika Police. That's going to cost us some penalty time.
Over there, yeah.
As Wild Sockeye gets recycled to the back of the pack. Little green sandwich there up front. Bonnie Beat Down and Ursula Z. You're looking to take Wild Sockeye right out of that bout. They send her to the back of the pack and she just continues to skate around. Shooting time off the clock and she says, nope, that's good enough for me. I'm calling it. 3 points on the board. Let's see what the officials say. That's the end of your bout. We'll see what the official score is, when as it looks now, Whidbey Island has come into our house and done some damage.